What's up everyone, welcome back to a new castle game. Today we have in the top right spawning as the red Protoss player, it is Trap, and in the bottom left it is Mr. Stats. So this is probably the highest level Protoss versus Protoss that you can possibly get at this moment. As Stats and Trap, well especially Trap right now, is on top of the world. Currently he is in the super tournament in the round of 4, I want to say, as well. So definitely on top of the world. Stats lost to Maru in that tournament, but still one of the top contenders. And seeing these two guys square off in a PvP is obviously fantastic. This game was played last week, or well 2 days ago at this point, in the olimoleague. So I'm very curious to see who is going to win this, as PvP is a matchup where lots of crazy things happen nowadays. Lots of proxy pylons, lots of proxy robotics facilities, proxy stargates, or just a good old regular proxy pylon, nothing else. Trap already looking to most likely proxy something, as we see his probe moving out on the map. And this isn't going to his opponent's base, I can tell you that much. So wouldn't be surprised to see a proxy somewhere down here, the bottom of the map, or I guess Trap prefers this area over here, well hidden. This is the kind of location that you're either gonna proxy a pylon without anything, or just a pylon with a stargate. Meanwhile, we see Stats scout across the map with his own probe, so he will be able to figure out, like, hey, there's something missing in my opponent's base. What is it exactly that I'm missing? And then most likely he'll be like, wait a second, there's no second pylon yet, which is of course the big tell that something is being proxied. Second pylon is there for Stats. Now we're gonna see what Trap does exactly with this probe. Usually what you want to do is you want to make it go towards your opponent base from a different angle, and you don't want to show it too early, because that would mean that either you're only proxying a regular pylon and no real tech, or that your proxy is really close. So I think this is already cutting it quite close. Like, this is a very close by proxy, if it's a proxy, or it's just going to be a regular proxy pylon. Stats of course is scouting on the other side of the map. Does see that a third pylon has been placed down here. We see double adept opener by both players. Stargate being started by Stats, which is a very good defensive tool against stuff like proxy gate. Well, not so much against a proxy gate, but against a proxy robo. It's definitely very, very good to have. We see 2 adepts making their way on the map as well here for Trap, who follows us up with 2 more adepts. So we'll be going into a 4 adept opener. Nexus starts very quickly as well. Most likely the Nexus for Stats will start once his first target unit starts, because before that you don't really have the money to both build a Nexus, still be able to wall off and get an extra unit. 2 adepts trying to make their way into the main base. Does not happen, does get cancelled, and Trap actually does find some kills here. Most likely will be able to... No, actually won't be able to get any of the kills. Stats kind of oddly manages to escape here and finish the shade as well. Will be able to try and shade into his opponent's main base once again. Now natural base is going down for Stats right now, who started with a Phoenix. So single Phoenix out already, second Phoenix is on the way. And how many adepts is there on the map right now for Trap? There's 6 adepts on the map, and these adepts are on a mission. They want to find these 2 adepts that our boy Stats has. He will be able to escape if he moves quickly enough. He's just standing still now though, and these 4 adepts are moving forward, barely missing Stats' 2 adepts. This is a weird game of hide and seek that Stats is winning so far. I mean, keeping 2 adepts alive against 6 adepts of your opponent, soon to be 8 actually. Look at that, it's a big adept count. Stats is already saving up some Phoenixes of course, so we'll be able to clear those adepts. Gate gets started. Usually I'd say, hey, build a battery or build a pylon, but those buildings would simply fall too quickly against this number of adepts. So instead a gateway will be built in that hole. Now 2 adepts falling extremely fast. Third adept also does go down, so right now it's 2 adepts versus 5. Stats barely not finding this. Oh, there he goes. Managed to find that pylon, and Trap will also spot these 2 adepts on this side of the map. Phoenix is still hunting for Trap's adepts, and the game of hide and seek for sure is being won so far by by Stats, who's been doing a very good job killing every adept. Right now, both of his adepts sadly will fall, but he might be able to get 2 sentries for free. That's a lot of gas, a lot of value in these Phoenixes already. If you take a look at the units lost tab, we see 950 resources lost for Trap against only 437 of Stats, who right now has... It's in a little bit of a lead, I would say. Also has more workers already. We see an aggressive move out here for Trap, who is wanting to do some damage, but there's a couple of Stalkers here. There's a lot of Phoenixes on the map. Sadly, no battery as of yet. Battery will go down right now. We're gonna need to see another warp in soon as well in order to properly defend this. Blink is being started on the other side of the map for Trap, but there's 3 gates ready as well. And there's an aggressive pylon, which will be able to do aggressive warp ins. Now, this Adept Shade probably should not do anything, even if it finishes. I mean, there's 5 Phoenixes that should be able to do something against these Adepts. Some poor micro there by Stats, who is probably just trying to buy time for his battery to finish, and battery does end up finishing. How many Stalkers do we have? 6 Stalkers here for Stats against the 9 of Trap. Blink is nowhere near being done. There is a battery, there's a couple of Phoenixes, and the moment that this push doesn't pose any danger anymore to Stats, these 5 or well 6 Phoenixes at this point will be able to do a lot of damage on the other side of the map. But first Stats needs to wait for his Immortal to pop, otherwise he is not safe. This is a lot of units coming out of Trap really, and I think Stats realizes right now, hey, wait a second, I have a lot of Phoenixes. I do have an Immortal. Maybe I will be able to jump on top of this army, but still slightly too scared. Instead just builds a second battery. He's already on 4 gases against a Trap who's only still on 2 gases, which means any kind of tech will be delayed. Third base will go down faster though for Trap, who continues building Stalkers on the other side of the map and putting on a lot of pressure. Now, whenever you're on the other side of the map, it's always very difficult to defend at home, and Stats is trying to capitalize on that right now by sending these Phoenixes across the map. But this is a risky play. Blink has finished. How many Immortals is there? There's only a single Immortal still. Second Immortal is almost done. Adept Shade does finish, and Phoenixes do get recalled immediately. Good blink forward here coming out of Trap, who snipes the first Immortal, but the Phoenixes are back right now. We'll be able to lift 1, 2, maybe a 3rd and a 4th Stalker will be able to get lifted as well. Blink is off of cooldown right now, but this was an amazing trade for Stats, who realized the moment, hey, this is dangerous, I should immediately recall my Phoenixes. He did lose a lot of Phoenixes, but he took the sting out of this push. Like, this is not a dangerous push anymore right now. Actually, Stats has more Stalkers, has Phoenixes, and still has an Immortal as well. So perhaps might want to try to do some damage with the Phoenixes that he does have remaining. It's only 2 Phoenixes, so shouldn't be able to do too much damage there. Second Immortal does hit the field. Batteries are done. 3 batteries, so honestly this Stalker pressure is completely non-dangerous anymore. Especially now that Stats has vision of it as well. We'll be able to take out this pylon and most likely start working towards that 3rd base that he needs. Also, of course, possible that instead of a 3rd base, he will just do a little bit of a push here with the units he currently has at Prison. I guess he needs to wait for a charge. And, well, he started +2 as well. So we'll be going for a +2 push. Most likely we'll get a 3rd base and not probe it up. It's very common to see in PvP where players decide not to probe up 3rd bases to have a more powerful push. And this +2 push will be very scary for Trap, as Trap doesn't really have a lot to defend right now. The only thing Trap can really do is whenever he sees Stats move out is try to force a base raid, blink into bases with these Stalkers, and we see he's trying to gain some map control, trying to get some vision as well, but he also needs to be careful of these Phoenixes. Now, of course it's only 2 Phoenixes, but losing 2-3 workers every single time still kind of adds up after a while, so probably will keep his Stalkers at home for now. Does he have any good vision? He has a probe over here. Zealot moving towards the 3rd base of Stats, or where the potential 3rd base could be. Does spot that there's a 3rd base, moves back his own Zealots. Now we see there's only 3 gases still for Trap, which means he's most likely going to be trying to kind of overwhelm Stats with a big Stalker Zealot force, as without 4 gas it's difficult to afford a lot of Templars, and without Templars no Archons, without Archons no party. So you might be able to get 1 or 2 Archons, but definitely not too many. Have we seen any Archons yet? No, not on his side of the map. Templar Archives now starting, but only 300 gas in the bank. There's already 1 Archon here for Stats, second one is finishing up, and Stats actually has a really scary push in him right now. Tries to figure out with his observer, hey, where's your main army? Where are your stalkers? Needs to know exactly where those stalkers are located before he can safely move out. Don't want to be caught into a base trade, especially if the base trade starts the moment you move on the map, rather than when both of you are halfway through the map. So stats will be moving out. +2 is done. He has a better army composition. The thing that Trap will try to do here is he'll try to kind of sweep around with these stalkers, maybe towards this area, and then try to snipe the prism from the back. We see a little bit of a flank being set up as well by Trap. I don't think it's wise to move in there yet, and Trap does agree with me. So we do have that sweep around right now, like I mentioned. Pay attention to those stalkers. We'll be trying to go in for a blink. Stats, of course, is aware of that. Could put his prism on this little area where it would be possible to warp in. Oh, very exposed prism there. Good start of the fight here by Trap, but I'm afraid his army is just a little bit too small. His upgrades might just not be good enough. 14 probes already going down. A lot of the Archons are still alive. A lot of the supply in general of Trap is still alive. Some lifts coming out of stats as well, disabling a couple of these stalkers, and it looks like the +2 and the superior army size might just be enough here for Stats, who is still on 44 workers. He has his own third base back at home. He's mining, still up an upgrade, and the moment this prism that is being built right now arrives to this army, he will have plenty of reinforcements to very easily destroy whatever Trap can throw at him. Trap, I like this move, is going for some kind of base trade here, trying to do some damage. Might just, after seeing this third base being done, might just be like, GG. Yeah, there we go, GG gets called. Stats wins this game and manages to best Trap, who is definitely one of the hottest Protoss players right now. So congratulations to Stats. Well, if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. I'd love you for it. Thank you very much, and bye bye.